Now, maybe we can do one thing more, and this is now from on the fly to sliding window. What you see here, we don't need to estimate now the errors, right? They can even change very quickly. What we now want to do is we would like to work on an acknowledgement. So this sounds something like stop and wait, or what is really what we are doing. What we're doing now is we are opening the window only when we get an acknowledgement from the other side, right? So before that, everything we did was not based on an acknowledgement. It was one way. It's good for point-to-point, point-to-multipoint. This one is only for point-to-point and is based on an acknowledgement. And whenever we receive an acknowledgement, we can open up the window, right? If we don't get an acknowledgement or even a NUC, then we will stay there, right? Only an UC will open the window and then so on. So this could be now our corridor. It looks like on the fly. The only thing is we are cleaning up this one here. Why can we do this? Honestly, we only want to know how many packets are on the fly. So between me and the network and the receiver, how many packets did I already send? And I code over these. So my sliding window has a certain width. And the width has to do with the propagation delay in the network and the uncertainty due to errors. But I can also close it now. So the egg is good for opening it, and it's really not like this. It does not look that. Sometimes it goes a little bit to the right, then it goes steep and whatever. But we are also closing it. Why do you want to close it?
Complexity.
Correct answer. This is what we did. We had it before, right? This is more like the perpetual code, only the corners look different, right? So we had this already. Now we have the complexity, and the closing of the window is good for if you don't care about complexity, leave it there. Okay? You would even reduce the encoding vector a little bit with this approach even. So if you don't care about this, this is not so important. The opening, that's the important one. The opening strategy decides on latency, and the opening also decides on the resilience in the end, right? So how does it look? Here you see something. You send packet 1 to the other side. Before it arrives here, you can send a linear combination of P1 and P2, right, to the other side. And every time there's something, no problem, it will go out, right, as we had it before. But we also said, hey, if there's no problem, we can also take on-the-fly coding. If there are no errors, we don't even need coding at all, right? Now, if there is an error, that's interesting. So you get P1 out. Here nothing comes, so nothing will be passed on. Then there's a linear combination of P1, P2, P3. It arrives here, but there's nothing we can instantaneously get out. And we continue in sending more packets. Here we found out, oh, something went wrong. So you see, until here, everything was opening up the window. But with P5, we found out, oh, the first one arrived. And then we say, okay, then kick out packet 1. Why packet 1? It doesn't matter. One packet. Just take the first one. That's the easiest one. So, and you could even maybe estimate which one it was, but it doesn't matter. You take the first one because he has seen a packet. This means something was there, and at least packet 1 has been seen as a packet, as a linear combination on the other side. Now he didn't get anything, and because he did not get anything, as you can see here, he removed packet 1, he put in packet 5, no acknowledgement, then he's not opening the window. He's not even closing it. He stays here. And this is, of course, not the same packet that we are sending. It's a new coded packet, okay? This is important. So in Codo language, you would ask the recoder/decoder, give me one packet again. Don't take the one twice, right? So then you are sending it out until, after a while, you have certain packets. Then the queue is going up until you have enough packets. And now you can close the window and collapse it fully. Now all the packets go out with this packet, P2, P3, and then you continue like this. And this is now, when you see later the video, you will see he will clean up for a while. Then there's some panic mode where he does not know what's going on, and then he finds out how to make the acknowledgements, and then he will continue, and then you see part of the picture. So we're doing this with a picture because a video would be maybe nicer, but you understand now where in the stream it would go right and where it would go wrong. Now, do I really need an acknowledgement per packet? No. You can even see in every second packet, right? Because this is a quite aggressive strategy. This is just to explain it. And if you say, yeah, I know what I want to have for a delay, now you can decide on the strategy how you send back the feedback. And even in Kodo, there's a way to specify the rate you send out the acknowledgements. That alone could be a PhD thesis, right? It's understanding the latency and the resilience with a shootout and the feedback over here. Now, what you see here, there's a certain width, right? How many packets are there? That has to do, as I said, a little bit to do with the propagation delay and with the errors. What happens here? If there are a lot of errors, it can even grow, right? Now, what happens if you have an immediate acknowledgement? So you send packet 1 and get acknowledgement. Packet 2, then you would always get the packet out of it. And if there's an error, you could do something like this, but you could also just repeat it, because the acknowledgement comes in before you make the next packet, right? So why should you code, right? There are different arguments for that, because if you send packet 1, it tells you I'm there, so packet 2. And then you send packet 2 and packet 3. Why are you doing this? Because you did not get an acknowledgement. But a missing acknowledgement, what does it mean?
It's 50-50. Either the packet to the other side was lost or the answer was lost.
Correct. And because I don't know this is my uncertainty thingy, right? Because if the packet arrived and the acknowledgement was lost, then you see, then it's better maybe to code into the future. I know that I might lose the instantaneous decodability, right? But on the other side, if it was the acknowledgement, then it's maybe better to send it, right? So this has now to do, what should I do? It's a classical question. And can get acknowledgement lost? In Wi-Fi, we measured this once, and we have seen that 15% of the acknowledgements were lost. So, and a lost acknowledgement in Wi-Fi terms means repetition. So they sent the same packet again, okay? Okay, so for the sliding window, here's a very easy way how to see it with the, you see the white dots, this is what the decoder is doing, trying to repair the, to get the pivot elements in the decoding matrix, and you see some grayish points here in the end. That was a very first implementation where we had sub-generations in our generation, right? Because we found it very difficult to make this. But here's the video again, and on the left, you see the encoder. This is the picture of Lena and the decoder. And whenever there is uncertainty, you see some grizzling in the picture and some panic mode on the decoder, right? Do we have more of that? So here you see this always, it goes, when it's cleaned up to a certain point, it will not go back, right? To this point, everything is fine. You have grizzling, and this is very nice where you see the width. Sometimes it's expanding, but then he tries to bring it down again, okay? Okay. Also nice. Very thin here, then some errors over here. It would be also nice to see then what really happens on the medium, right? So where is the error, and so on. Do we have one more? No. One last thing. Oops, what is this? Can you click on this? It's not starting. Is there a video? No, I think you have to go over to the with the mouse to the other screen. Yeah. There's something is happening. There's something. There's this Salta road where you can see it, where it's doing something. He's trying to clean it up. This is on a virtual machine. Unfortunately, the video is not so good. But you see now how very fine-grained he is trying to clean this up. He is doing something here, and then he is already done, right? Okay. Here's an example what Steinwurf did, right? Steinwurf is the guys who did the Kodo library. They have a very nice example. Here's an RQ protocol, and here's the coding protocol. So what you do is you always try to get over to the other side the packets. Now you are in sync, everything is fine, right? And until there will be some problems. Down here, we're sending the packets. This was an error, for example. It will take a while until he has something. But here, whenever he's sending also some erasure packets in between. So it's just systematic with a little bit of extra erasure. And he has always something to put into his queue, right? If you think about latency, you can see it here. Latency is always about 100 milliseconds. Different examples, 70, what is 170? Here's 300 millisecond. That's the difference between an RQ, where you really want to mimic and you have really needed per packet. And here the question is, what is the strategy here, right? You also lose packets here sometimes. It's not that you don't lose anything. They both lost 2 packets and so on. Good. If you go to the web page as a blog, sometimes it's nice. They have nice examples also with cars and so on. Good. Before I go to some new coding, because we are not stopping there, I would say these are the basic coding schemes.